I think a lot of us don't realize that we are what we already aspire to be.
We're waiting for permission. We're waiting for validation. We're waiting for someone else to tell us that you have arrived.
That's why it's so important to create and to let ourselves be artists, because our hidden beings don't, honestly, our beings ourselves, because of so many society standards, we don't really know how to express ourselves. We don't know which emotions are right or wrong because of the fact that we grew up being told this is wrong, this is right, and then for real, it was never wrong or right. No, your left is not my left. Your right is not my right. So what is really left or right? When we do things like this, like when we have conversations, or when we dance, or when we sing, or when we act, we get to tell our story, like our hidden beings, like they come to play, like they come to be like, oh, it's my time to shine.
I, Daryl Spearman, give myself permission to step into the light and to create for my health and to inspire others.
I, Shadia J, give myself permission to relinquish control, to let myself be vulnerable at every time imaginable, to let myself be heard and seen at all times.
Are you gay?
Leave me alone.
It's okay if you are.
Oh, why were you crying before?
I'm a girl and I have no control. Emmanuel can do whatever he wants to me. Mama Catherine won't do nothing. We create these stories because life is absurd. And there's so many things that happen in life that literally you just have to laugh. You have to laugh because it's insane. It seems so, at least. It seems like, wow, the universe really throws curveballs at all of us all the time. And that's why we laugh at comedy. Why do we laugh at other people's pain? Because it's like, yeah, that's exactly the way I feel.
I can't really talk about being a Black man in America and being vulnerable without addressing the fact that I am gay. Into which, fun story, I didn't come out to my mom and family until 2 years ago, actually. In college, I choreographed a dance on like 15 people, and which is crazy because upon my freshman year of college, I knew that we always had to do a senior thesis project, and I always knew me coming out, I wanted that to be the project, because the way I work is I want it to touch people. I want my work to be significant, important, valuable, something that'll last forever.
You're taking back control. You know that, right? Like, you're taking back control of your life and of you. And that's incredible. Like, you're recreating your identity. You're recreating who you are, and it's gonna be so strong. Like, it's gonna be like unbreakable, and I'm happy for you.
Like, as a kid, like, we didn't care. We were like, okay, we're gonna do what we want, and we're not gonna worry about what anybody else thinks. And then in the middle, like somewhere between then and now, we're just like brainwashed by the society that's like, do what we want you to do kind of thing. And then it takes coming back to yourself now to know, like, okay, it's okay for me to do what I want to do and be who I want to be. And it's so crazy. Like, obviously there's so many differences between what both of us went through, but like it's the same kind of general timeline kind of thing. It's like, as a kid, we're like, okay, like careless, and then in the middle it's like something happens and we're part of this society that's like, that changes us, and now we're trying to take that back.
We were brought up to never speak our mind, to never, say what we feel, say what we truly feel, say, stand up for ourselves. Every time we, want to be assertive, we are seen as aggressive, we are seen as disrespectful, and that is in no way, shape, or form true. Especially when it comes to a child and an adult. I feel like adults see when kids stand up for themselves as something disrespectful, but they forget that children are human too, and they are entitled to their emotions.
Every single person learns every single instrument differently, but we all come together, and like the feeling when everything is in tune and everything is just perfect and we're all like synced up and stepping out at the same time, it's just like so beautiful. And it truly made me as an artist. I'm like, this is the stuff I need. When I start making and composing music for my different movies, I would love to conduct them and be up there and be the one that's writing the music and so on and so forth. And it's a big foundation to my creativity and my artistry, just learning that instrument and learning it to the point where I could play with so many people and make something so beautiful, something I could not do without them.
Whenever we like grow up, maybe there's like a psychological point in time where we start to also then like not just be aware of ourselves, but be aware of how others view us. And maybe that's when like the shift happens from us like not wanting to just like jump into things as we once did when we were children, like just being like, I'm gonna do this today and like do all those things, and like do we just stop ourselves? We knew who we were as children, like we were confident in ourselves. We didn't really give a fuck about what anybody said. We would just say things.
Like when we had that conversation and you told me that our bodies are props and we get to use this thing only once and we get to only use it in this one life and we get to choose how and what, it really made me think about how stiff I've been in this world and how much that has contributed to my anger and my rage and my sadness. Because it's like, I want you to let me do more, Daryl. Why aren't you letting me do more? You know? And it gets frustrating. It gets very frustrating. I think what I want my inner child to know is that the people that I was surrounded by as a child, that's not what the world is.
Your child like you knew no better, you know? Like, it is not your fault of what happened to you, and that's not who you are, and not all that you should remember yourself to be, you know, because your child like you didn't do anything to you, you know? Your child like you always reminded you of like, this is what I like to do, you know? I know we can't do it, but that's what I want to do. I know that I can't have it, but I want it though, you know? Like your child like you didn't say, oh, let's not be like that. That was kind of more so like your shadow self, you know? Even when we're young, still having that kind of shadow or that kind of authority that tells us no, you know? And like, I think it's amazing to be seen as your child like you, because that's the person that knew exactly who they were, you know? That's the person that knew exactly who you wanted to be, but you didn't tell anybody. But that's also okay, because at the end of the day, they never tried to convince you like, oh no, don't be like that. It was the world that was convincing you to not be like that, you know? Like your child like you was like, I want it. And it was probably hard to deal with, because it was like this desire to be, and then this desire to be for other people.
I really do feel like Daryl is ready. That internalized shame that I developed from the other Black men in my family who were telling me that I was wrong for doing what I love to do, I just thought that it was wrong. And I decided that I wasn't going to do it anymore at a certain point in my life. And that I was going to try to be something that I wasn't. And it wasn't a good way to live. And I wasn't happy. And now it's like, you know, I'm doing these things again and I'm being who I am. And it's a much better way to live. It's the only way to live.
You look at the unknown and you try to understand it, where other people will run from it just because it's so big and it's so unknown. And I feel like you even relate that to yourself, because there's so much about you that is similar to an ocean, that's similar to space and to the moon, that we don't have answers about it, but you don't give up. like you're curious about it. Like you're looking at it. Like your back is not turned from it. You're walking towards it. Like you're not afraid, even though it hurts. Like even though like it's confusing sometimes, but you're still so curious, and I really admire that about you. Like it's so inspirational.
I feel like a lot of creators are waiting for, well, when I get to this part, or when I am this good, then I will be a writer. Do you write every day? Do you sing? Do you perform? You're doing it. You're it.
I've noticed, like you said, like throughout my entire life of growing up, nothing has been confronted. Or even if it has been, it's probably been confronted like halfway through. And then it would just be brushed off after, like nothing ever happened. And that's not okay at all. Because how are you supposed to get to the main point of what's gonna help us grow out of what we're going through?
Be your own pattern effect. Kiss yourself, love yourself, say I love you so much, because you need to love you, because you're the only person that's with you constantly. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy, because like I really, it's so crazy to feel so empty inside and to be accomplishing what you wanted all your life. Like to just be sitting there like, okay, yeah, the commercial's out. I'm on TV now. I could be on a billboard. But hey, you know, it's there, and I'm proud of myself, but I still don't love myself. So I still don't get to really sit and take in everything and feel the love and support of not only everyone else, but yourself.
Right. Dear Daryl, you are 8 years old, and you are in your grandmother's house, and you are listening to Hannah Montana, and you like to watch the Cheetah Girls, and you like to dance to a lot of music from your favorite artists from Disney Channel, and you love High School Musical. You just feel so empowered watching these things. But then when you hear the key in the lock turn, and you hear the men come in the house, you get afraid, and you want to stop. And you're gonna shut down, and you're gonna hide yourself because you were told to do that. But one day you're gonna realize how important you are, and you're gonna realize how honest the things you used to do as a kid, and the things you used to write, and the things you used to sing, and the things you used to listen to, they were a part of you. And one day you're gonna realize that being that you decided to let them go to fit other people's expectations of you, it makes you unhappy. And that's gonna be enough for you to realize what you need to do.